20% yield on the XRP ledger AMM? Okay, if you didn't think XRP was attractive before, you might be reconsidering. Now, I know this one's going to get everybody all worked up, so I don't dare call it passive income, right? We can't call the AMM passive income, but we're going to put our assets to work in that thing, and we already are getting some initial numbers back, a little bit of feedback, and wow, 20% yield? More on that here later in the show, folks. Full update coming in. I'm going to try to go through rather quickly, though, because I do appreciate everybody stopping by, and I know you guys stay busy these days, so we're going to go straight on into the charts and then into the news. Appreciate everybody. Here we go. We are at 65,785 for your Bitcoin. We have come back down here in the past 24 hours, continuing to watch this market. Now build a little bit of support here about the 65K region. Now for XRP, we did go back down to 56.5 cents. Okay, so, if you've been wanting to pick up that 56, 57 cent XRP, it's your lucky day, right? Now, just how bad is this situation? Let's take a look at it from Wall Street Silver. This is shocking. Mandatory spending in the U.S. budget, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, was $3.742 trillion in 2023. All government revenues were $4.439 trillion in 2023. Mandatory spending was 85% of all tax revenue, meaning everything else in the budget, like defense, interest on the debt, and everything else, is mostly on borrowed money, the budget deficit. That is why debt is growing at $3 trillion per year. Folks, we have no chance of solving this problem other than printing more of this funny money fiat dollars. That is the only way. No one is going to declare default. Maybe if Trump comes back in, he's got a plan to reset, restructure, revalue, and we will be declaring some sort of default. But with this current administration, it is just run up the tab, run it up some more. When they run out of money, they just ask for more. And, we need a few trillion every few months to keep the government afloat these days. Truly unprecedented, just like the record central bank losses that we're seeing, right? It's not just problems here in the United States. We have Sweden's central bank asking for $4.1 billion from lawmakers to cover their bond losses. The show is now in full force. Remember, bonds are designed to be, an instrument, right? It's basically a debt instrument that's supposed to be very conservative, right? The yield is based off of the duration, and then based off of your risk exposure, right? Who are you lending this money to? You can do municipal, local, state bonds. Or, you have central banks right here across the world. They're taking historical losses and a bunch more unrealized losses. Now they're having to go back to their lawmakers and ask, hey, we kind of messed up. We're short here and we need $4 billion, right? Now, that doesn't sound like much when we were just talking about trillions over here in the United States. But the worldwide economy, folks, has entered into a recession. Some economies are admitting it, others aren't. And many are starting to address their fiscal situation. Many are addressing their debt crisis. And you can see that many of them are doing so by devaluing their currency because they're printing more of those dollars, whether it's Argentina, whether it's been Venezuela, whether it's Turkey. These are all the currencies that you see the most amount of inflation. Why are they doing that? Because they got to pay their bills. They have no other way. And now it's completely flipped. And now you know the deal. When mainstream news is now coming out and saying and giving 5 reasons to invest in silver, you know we've been ahead of the target, right? Because we've been talking about this for years. This was not an attractive investment. Nobody talked about it. In fact, the mainstream media, used to make fun of us. And now we get this one out of CBS News, folks. 5 reasons to invest in silver bars and coins right now. Now, I'm not going to give you financial advice, but it looks like CBS wants to. And why do they want to? Well, because they have their article plugged with all their different affiliates. They basically just wanted to create a landing page and a funnel for all their affiliates so CBS can make money. Now, isn't that funny how far ahead of them we are, right? We're already attracting the eyeballs. We're already pulling their viewers. We're already, folks that want to get real news, right? And then assets like silver that we have been talking about. And for us, it's never waiting around for the mainstream media to tell us to do in the next popular thing, right? We stay over the target. We stay ahead of the game. We've been stacking silver. And what just happened yesterday? Well, both gold and silver break out. And we got gold at an all-time high. And we got silver finally above $26 per ounce Absolutely love to see it. I'm going to show you the charts here real quick. So a little bit of a drawdown this morning to 2,274, but you saw that we went all the way up to basically 2,290 for gold last night. For silver, oh my gosh, we're still moving for silver. I didn't even check this morning, folks. I didn't even know we were still printing green candles. 26.5, 26.6. What do you guys say? And so we've been talking about this. Don't go use the links from CBS. We don't need to support them. If you do, that's fine. But if you guys do need any precious metals, I have them at my website, ZachRector.com. People ask me all the time, where's the best place to buy gold? I think Andy Sheckman has some of the best places if you're going to order online. To be honest, to get the best prices, probably just go to a local dealer. That's where you're going to get the best prices. You're not going to have to pay for shipping. And I would, consider setting up a relationship with your local dealer. It's a good thing to have. But if you want to use my affiliates, they can hook you up as well. And I know Andy Sheckman has some of the best prices in the industry, and that would be one of my affiliates, Miles Franklin. If you want to roll over a 401k retirement account, we can get that done as well. Now, another traditional financial player that's finally, woken up, finally seeing the light, is Larry Fink with BlackRock. And this is his Bitcoin learning process. He knows small amounts of money move the price. Yeah, and a lot of wash trading too. Well, we would add to that, right? Small amounts of money and a lot of wash trading moves that sucker pretty well. Something other than Bitcoin is going to play a bigger role as a digitized currency. Now, why would he say that? He better run that by, maybe he doesn't have any handlers being the CEO of BlackRock, but he's not allowed to say that on the mainstream media, right? He's not allowed to go on to Bloomberg and say that there's going to be there's going to be something other than Bitcoin that's going to play a bigger role. I wonder what that could be. I wonder what could play a bigger role. What could facilitate solving a liquidity crisis and actually moving some money, right? I wonder what it could be. Well, we dive on in here, folks. We got this one from Tiger Mike 15. I don't know where he found this, if this was in the lawsuit or where he was able to get this. Huge shout out to Tiger Mike on X. He says, here's something I can share on Ripple line of credit. Not bad money to be made, which I frustratingly pointed out at the time. This is part of a real ODL contract shown as an addendum in September 2022. Documents were signed by both Ripple and its ODL customer. So this is a line of credit maturity date 2 years from the effective date. Line of credit limit $5 million. Line of credit maturity date, right? And the fees due and payable each month within 2 business days from the date of invoice. 12% per annum of the obligations outstanding under the credit extension. $37,500 payable on the addendum effective date. Wrath of Kahneman asks for clarity. Help me to think through what I'm looking at. The money to be made refers to the 12% service fee, 12% up to the $5 million limit, and the $27,000 facility fee. That's $37,000, right? $37,500 facility fee payable on effective date, and the 12% on the obligations. Now, so a lot of people, right, and this is, pretty common understanding, right, is that most of Ripple's money is coming from their sales of XRP, but you have to understand that they've also been setting up these other offerings. Line of credit here, this is great, and, I love this fact because, we see that the banks, right, they have trillions upon tens of trillions locked up in pre-funded accounts. And so when you solve $1 trillion problems for these institutions, they're willing to show up and pay a $37,500 facility fee with 12% service fee on top of that, because you're solving such a big problem for them, right? And this line of credit product, a great solution for these institutions. We've been seeing them. They've been touting how well that's been working out. And this, in accordance with on-demand liquidity, right, is a great solution for these institutions to be able to tap into this liquidity when they need it, with that, not having to do any pre-funding. And Ripple, although they're going to hit them for a fee, and Ripple needs to make their money, and that's good. And I just love to see that Ripple has been diversified. It'd be one thing if Ripple was just head down on only focusing on-demand liquidity, only focusing on payments. But we've seen they've acquired Medico, they're building out institutional DeFi, they've purchased standard, custody and trust. They're moving and they're building other pillars in the infrastructure that they're building out here. I just love to see it. And so another one here from Tiger Mike: to clear up on-demand liquidity and line of credit product offerings. Ripple credits ODL customers with XRP, Those customers are only invoiced when XRP is used, as and when for on-demand liquidity. This avoids XRP price volatility for the customer. So basically, they don't have to hold XRP. The XRP ODL transaction is a sell to the designated end currency by the Ripple customer, XRP to fiat. Ripple then invoices the customer in fiat for that XRP ODL value transaction. Ripple decides when and how much XRP to buy back from the market. Line of credit is a credit facility offer that extends beyond standard payment terms used to advance ODL adoption. Hope that helps. So basically, it's helping and making it easier for these institutions to adopt or use on-demand liquidity. And one of the benefits of on-demand liquidity is it's liquidity on demand. So you don't have to hold XRP, right? You're going to get an invoice in fiat, right? And you're going to be credited with the XRP beforehand, right? And I want to make something very clear, because I've made a couple of videos on this recently explaining how the buying and the selling, the activity that I just shared with you guys, is meant to be net neutral on demand, right? And this is why Ripple has even said themselves that most ODL transactions are designed to be demand neutral, meaning that as soon as it's being sold, it's being bought back up. Now, that doesn't have to be the case, though, right? Ripple doesn't have to buy back that XRP if they don't want to, okay? And the other thing to note is people are saying, oh, wow, ODL doesn't affect price. We've been lied to this whole time. Well, no, the XRP still has to be allocated. See, Ripple has to have the liquidity pool available. So they have to make an allocation of XRP, which makes XRP more scarce as far as what's available in the public, what's being used for this utility, right? This is making XRP available for everybody else more scarce. That impacts price. And then every time XRP is being used in on-demand liquidity, it's burning XRP. So that makes XRP more scarce once again. So on-demand liquidity does have an impact on price. It's just the buying and the selling, the order flows of on-demand liquidity are designed to be net neutral. And you have to understand, this is so great because it allows these institutions to adopt this without having to take on the risk if they don't want to hold the asset. Now, we've seen, and there have been institutions, and I'm sure there's many more that we haven't seen yet, that do want to hold XRP on their balance sheet, right? They do want an allocation. They're going to hold it, but then they are also using XRP for on-demand liquidity as well. And so I hope that provided a little bit of clarity the past couple of videos that we've done. It's not that on-demand liquidity doesn't impact the price of XRP. It does. It's just not a direct impact on price from the buying and the selling and the trading and the flows. It's an impact on price by XRP being locked up by Ripple in that liquidity pool. It's XRP becoming more scarce because as those on-demand liquidity flows pick up, more and more XRP is being burned. You have to remember, this asset's actually deflationary. It's being burned every time we use a transaction. And we're going to have even more transactions flowing when the word on the street gets out on this one, folks. This is what gets folks excited. This is what gets folks pouring in and staying in the XRP Ledger ecosystem. Let's talk about it. Now, this is not for me. The title of this video on the 20% yield, not for me. This is from our good friend Neil Hartner from Ripple, senior software engineer at Ripple working on on-demand liquidity. A huge shout out to Neil. Really do appreciate him. He's been running the numbers to see what kind of yield these AMM liquidity pools are going to be spitting out. He says XRP Ledger AMM fee income on the biggest pool, XRP Solo, looks to be around 20% on an annual basis based on my own calculations, right? So, hey, sounds pretty dang good to me, right? Where else can you get 20%? Very rough estimate since there isn't much history so far. Are there any tools tracking this data across all pools? And that's what we need, right? The tools in the user interfaces are being built out right now. This is only going to get better and better for tracking your yield, where you won't have to bring out the calculator and try to do the calculations yourself. But a huge shout out to Neil for taking a look at that. So that would be Solo and XRP, right? The biggest pool, I guess, is what it is right now. But this is an interesting one to note. The pool income was worse when the fee was at 0.9%. Income roughly doubled once the fee was reduced to 0.45, less fees per transaction, but 4 to 8 times more transactions, so overall more fees. My guess is the optimal fee for that pool is probably even lower. And so this is where the liquidity providers get a vote on the fees. And your initial thinking is, oh, wow, I'm going to run up the fee. You can do it anywhere from 0.01, I think, all the way up to 0.9. 0.99 is the max fee, right? You can't go above 1%. And so Many people would initially think, right, oh, let's make the fees 0.99, let's make the most, right? Well, you get less transactions. And right, so when the fee got reduced down to 0.45, you saw less fees per transaction, but 4 to 8 times more transactions. And he suggested the optimal fee might even be less. So once again, when you can provide the best liquidity in the world, folks are going to flock. And when you can start to say, hey, I'm getting 10, 15, 20% yield on my AMM liquidity pool, folks, look out. Don't dare call it passive income. Don't dare hype it up. The Twitter police are going to come out and attack us, aren't they? Uh-oh. But we're going to continue to watch how this one plays out. We got less than a week until the AMM goes live once again. I will be participating. I'll be dropping some more content on how to XRP AMM, right? How to actually do it. And so make sure you guys subscribe. Stay tuned. We got more content coming your way. I appreciate everyone for stopping by, and we will see you in the next one. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.